Welcome back, everybody, to Indigo Unknown.
Indigo Unknown.
This is episode 4, Deja Vu. Welcome back, everybody, to Indigo Unknown.
Indigo Unknown.
This is episode 4, Deja Vu.
Okay, I got it. That was weird because I just experienced
Did
deja
you feel
vu.
that too?
I felt it.
That was fucking weird.
It's, wow. That's
Anyway.
what we'll be talking about that.
Oh, strange. What a coincidence. Anyhow, I'm Brendan.
I'm Waylon.
And
And
This
that's
is
who
the-
we are. That's who we are. Like it or leave it. I mean, that's what it
we weren't going to introduce a third person.
yeah.
I hope you weren't.
Your new I heard about your new best
And
friend.
I do have a new best friend.
Yeah. And I'm kind of hurt.
Well, be better at being my friend.
Well,
We won't have these kind of issues.
I bought pecan beer.
Yeah. I brought scotch.
Well, that's where you suck as a friend.
Tasty scotch.
Pecan beer.
This is the Scotchcast. Podcast no more.
Pecancast. 2017.
So before we get into Deja Vu itself, I want to talk about something similar to Deja Vu.
Your new best friend?
Yeah, my new best friend. His name is Deja, oddly enough.
Fuck foo.
Last name Williamson. So
Okay.
it's, yeah. I want to talk about the Mandela effect. And I got a few interactive examples you can be part of. Not you. I mean, you can.
I will.
But for the listeners mainly, and mystery viewer. So
we will all be participants of this little story experiment, if you will.
I won't. So the Mandela effect is a collective misremembering of facts. The name comes from a paranormal consultant who remembered that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 80s, which wasn't the case. He died in 2013. But she found that several other people she talked to shared the exact same memory of Mandela dying in prison. Obviously, that wasn't the case, and thus named the Mandela effect. So, some examples here. You can follow along at home. I'll try not to make these too leading.
Now, is the media, are they to blame?
Could be, but there could also be something more fun, but we'll get into that
Okay.
when we start talking about Deja Vu at length.
6 hours.
Because we've got a fun theory for that we made up with no basis, but
No.
I think...
Well, that's what we do. I mean,
yeah, that's what we're about. I'm not a
we're
scientist.
not about Wikipedia and
I ain't no doctor.
copying from Wikipedia.
Yeah. I mean...
Well,
So-
except,
First one, and remember, this is people misremembering facts. So the first one, think about the Monopoly Man. Uncle Pennybags, I believe it's worth.
excuse me.
Think about what he's wearing.
Wait, that's Uncle Pennybags.
Yeah, I thought it was money bags, but it's penny bags, apparently.
Well, this economy today, it's penny bags.
True.
Yeah.
Unless you're about to die and they pick you up, take you to the future where you've got all your millions from
You
the
joke
$10
about it. You still
investment.
joke about that now, but you just wait.
Well, I'm not going to.
Well, you're going to live to be 1,000. I'll be 135.
I am not Nubian. So, think about the Monopoly Man. Think about what he's wearing. His whole outfit. What's he got? He's got his suit. He's got his nice smart shoes. He's got a lovely top hat.
It's nice stuff. He's kind of dressed like the Colonel. That's how I picture the Mr.
A
Monopoly
little
Man.
bit. Do you remember him wearing anything else?
I remember him wearing an eyeglass, like one of those ones where you squint your eye.
A monocle?
Yeah, a monocle. Thank you.
If you look at a picture of him, he's not wearing a monocle.
Really.
How bad's that fuck you up? You don't like that, do you? Because
No,
you remember him.
I'm not going to lose sleep, but
You
really,
remember him wearing a monocle.
I do remember. Or I'm thinking about Colonel Sanders and his delicious chicken.
He had
but he
two.
did not wear a
He
monocle.
had two monocles side by side. It wasn't glasses.
Two
He just had two. He had one on each side, not connected.
He just squinted his eyes.
Yeah, he squinted one or the
Too
other.
drunk to taste his
but-
chicken and hold up his glasses.
Yeah, he didn't like the gravy.
Did not like the gravy.
Another one. Think about what Darth Vader says to Luke. That famous line.
That's your sister.
Yes. No. I think that's what Chewbacca said, but it's not in a language we understand.
Yeah, a Wookiee. He did say, Luke, I believe he did say, Luke, I am your father.
You would believe that, and so would everybody else. What he does say is, no, I am your father. He does not say Luke.
His name was Luke, not No.
His name was No. It was Dr. No. It was a James Bond spinoff, but they later changed it once they found that there was going to be money for sequels.
His middle initial was A, but it went by Ah, so Noah.
Yeah.
I'm
Noah.
your
They changed
uncle.
that to Luke,
yeah.
also biblical. So,
Really? He doesn't say, Luke, I'm your father?
he does not.
Like, Luke, I am your father.
I think Luke says, "You killed my father." Vader says, "No, I am your father."
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
You might remember in the 90s, Shaquille O'Neal,
Great tennis
famous cricket all-star. He starred in a movie called Kazam where he played a genie. You remember any other genie movies from the 90s?
player. From the 90s?
Mm-hmm. Maybe one starring Sinbad?
No. Sinbad the comedian or Sinbad is actually not Sinbad. Sinbad.
Yes. Sin Goat.
He was a goat. Patrick Swayze.
Yes.
But
Wait.
no,
No, not Noah.
I do not recall that one. It wasn't Noah. No.
The listeners at home
just
may
got-
remember Sinbad playing a genie. That movie doesn't exist. There was no Sinbad as a genie movie.
So who
At
was
any
the,
time period.
Who was the genie in a movie? Like it was a comedy.
Well, there was Shaq, who starred in Kazam, but people distinctly remember another movie where the dude is a genie, and it was Sinbad.
Sinbad. Sinbad can make 3-pointers. That's all I'm saying.
Shaq can probably make a 3-pointer better than Sinbad.
That's debatable. That's
I don't
next
think
episode.
Sinbad had the same amount of time on the court.
It doesn't matter.
Nobody's passed
Have you
him the
seen-
rock, you know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Not Johnson.
No.
Not Dwayne Johnson.
Magic.
Yeah, the rock, the
Not
basketball.
With, not with a K.
So, think about the box of Fruit Loops, the cereal.
I'm looking right now at a box of Fruit Loops.
Bingo.
Bam, right there on the
Well,
refrigerator.
you don't cheat, but for the
won't.
listeners at home, think of how Fruit Loops is spelled.
Mm-hmm.
Is it FRUITLOOPS or is it FROOTLOOPS?
It's a lot of O's.
It's the second one.
and I'm still pissed off at that box of
What do you think
Fruit
of that?
Loops because we checked it recently and I did not win the Xbox One.
That's because you didn't deserve it.
Okay.
So, you know the frozen fish products, especially fish sticks, Gordon's?
No.
Gordon's
I don't
fish sticks
pay
comes in a
attention.
yellow box.
Yes, with the blue lettering.
Yes.
Yes.
It's not Gordon's. It's Gorton's with a T
Well,
instead of a D.
that one.
It's not. Look at the
you're,
box.
You're fishing now. You're fishing for examples.
Good joke.
No, it's not a joke. I'm
Asshole.
just saying, how many people know Gordon's and Gorton's fish sticks?
But do you remember it being Gordon's?
I don't remember.
Do you recall?
I remember they were tasty.
Well, that's
Put a little tartar sauce and some
a little bit of
shrimp
tartar sauce.
Still microwave it. Okay.
Okay, you remember Tiananmen Square?
Come again?
The Tiananmen Square?
Yes, I do. Yes.
The cat that stood in front of the tank?
yes.
Why was that such a big story?
He was protesting.
What happened to him?
That I cannot. I'll pull something on my ass right now. He was arrested.
You don't remember him being run over?
No. They wouldn't air that.
Well, he wasn't run over.
Hey,
He was pushed out of the way. But there seems to be people who remember him being run over.
by Toucan Sam.
Yes, by Toucan the Slam. Sam. The Toucan.
Yeah.
Sinbad.
Fruit Loops.
Who. And they remember that being the reason that was such a huge story is because they just rolled right over this guy who was protesting, trying to stop the tanks.
I kind of recall that they ran over him. Like they're like, you know what? You're not getting down the road. We're just gonna run your ass over. End of story for him.
But that wasn't the case,
No.
even though some people seem to think. Now, this one fucked me up a lot. I didn't like this one at all.
Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, Colonel. Didn't exist. No. Snow White. You remember the evil queen and how she had that mirror on her wall?
Yes.
What did she say to the mirror? What was her famous line?
I'm too drunk to taste this chicken.
I'm too drunk to look in this mirror.
I'm too drunk to look in this mirror. No, I think she said, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the what was it?
Fairest.
Fairest of them all." Yeah, yeah.
Okay. You know what she actually says?
Probably like I should have used Windex and not
Yeah,
gasoline.
she said.
Because
She said these
gasoline
fumes are making me hallucinate.
gasoline streaks like a champ.
No, she Even with newspaper, you can't get this.
No,
You got to use microfiber cloth if you're wiping with gasoline.
She wasn't the smartest queen,
Yeah,
if you will.
well, that's why she was foiled in the end because all the gasoline.
She was high. But no, I remember her saying, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?
She actually said, "Magic mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" Magic mirror, not mirror, mirror. But
And I think Disney didn't want to use the word magic because somehow
they did.
they
It was-
did. They
it was
used
magic
it.
mirror, homie.
Well,
And
that's
that-
what I'm saying. The media wants you to think of those mirror, mirror on the wall.
Why? Why would the media want
Wait,
that?
now I'm confused. Was it magic mirror or mirror, mirror?
It was magic mirror,
Magic mirror. Not Magic Johnson.
not
On
Shaquille O'Neal.
Magic Johnson on my
wall.
wall.
Sinbad on my Magic Kazam, the genie.
HIV.
So anyhow, if you enjoy the Mandela Effect, we'll talk a little bit more about it once we get into Deja Vu, and you can look up your own examples, and you may have some
If we
that
ever
you
get
remember.
deja vu, you know?
Well, we're on a rocky road.
I think we're the only ones left. No one is listening any longer because they're like, this is complete horseshit.
That's getting better.
Our brains are hurting.
Why don't you explain Deja Vu?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. No. Deja vu, which is a French term meaning already seen.
It's German.
That is French.
Correct.
And deja vu. I took French in high school. Total lie. I took
Yeah,
Spanish.
you didn't take a goddamn thing.
I took Spanish.
You didn't go to high school.
I did not. I was raised by wolves. They taught me French. Twice. Like I experienced it twice.
That's weird.
Deja vu.
Getting a lot of that this episode.
Yeah. But no, deja vu is basically the. It's just a term meaning you've already seen it, you've already been there, you've already experienced it.
You feel like something that's happening right now has already happened
Yeah,
to you.
yeah.
Like you've been in the exact situation.
Have you
Like
experienced
it's familiar. I have. None of it has stood out to me enough that I've got like a specific personal example.
I have a couple.
Yeah, you've talked about in the past that
Yeah. And there's a couple of strong ones. A couple of really strong ones that are like, wow. Like,
I've had some here and there that, I have the feeling. I'm like, oh, this seems really familiar. Like I remember this even though
that
it's
tonight's going to be.
happening for the first time. Yes, tonight's gonna be a good night.
Tonight's the night. But no,
Scotchcast.
Scotchcast, pecan beer podcast. But I've experienced a couple of good ones. Like they've lasted for at least 20, 25 seconds long, and it's
a lot.
insane. Where I'm looking around like at the people talking, and I can't say a thing, except when it's over. It's like holy shit! I just had deja vu, and this is what happened. And I'll tell the story later on of the strongest one that I had when I was in Vegas working at the MGM Grand.
Why don't you go forth?
Right now.
Yeah, go ahead and tell it.
Cool. So I was working at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, and it was a slow night. And my buddy / coworker was filling the water jug, the water cooler, the 5-gallon.
Mm-hmm.
And I look over at him, and I'm like, he's about to drop that. And sure,
Was he fumbling with it or anything? Or
no, it was. It looked like a perfect execution of putting the water. If you've never changed a water cooler, they're a pain in the ass. They're kind of scary to do.
It's
Especially at first,
you gotta
like,
hit
oh.
it. You gotta get it quick.
Yeah, you have to hit it quick. Quit it.
You gotta make that first.
Hit it and quit it.
Make
You
that
have to-
turn.
yeah.
Yeah. No, literally, not sexual. You
No,
gotta
no.
hit. You gotta
Hit it and quit
flip,
it.
and it's on there. You gotta hit it. If you don't, you're gonna have a mess.
And he had a mess. And I saw the mess happen before he actually did it. As he was dumping it, he dumped it.
The water.
Yeah, the water all over the floor. And we were on the where the surveillance room is at the MGM Grand. We were above hotel rooms. We were on the second floor, tucked away behind the stairwell, the cave. Anyway, I'm sure that it leaked into those hotel rooms. Yeah, big mess.
Water damage everywhere.
Water damage.
Boy.
But as he was dumping it into the cooler, I looked at him, and I saw it play out in my head before it actually happened, and it happened. I knew what he was going to say before he said it, and he said it. I looked over at my supervisor, And I know exactly what he was going to say. And it's just, it was one of those wow, like, holy crap. And it lasted for like 20, 25 seconds.
That's a long deja vu.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was like...
It's usually like 5, maybe 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And 10 seconds is a stretch.
But it played out. I'm like, I couldn't say...
25 seconds.
And when you're experiencing deja vu, you can't say anything. For some reason, you know that you're experiencing it, but you can't say you're...
Usually if you can say something, it's almost involuntary.
Yeah.
Like it comes out because that's what's supposed to happen
Yeah.
in that moment. Like you didn't think about it.
Like when it ends, you're
I've
like,
had that
you're
happen.
like, wow, I just experienced crazy deja vu. But at the time, it was like watching a little movie that I've already seen in real life.
It all just
and
played out in front of you.
It was insane, and
That's fucking weird.
I talked about it all night to them, and they were probably like, "You're shut the
All right,
fuck
so
up." They're like,
we need to get this guy
"Shut
evaluated.
up." Yeah, well, he needs a psyche eval to work here. Let's go ahead and contact the director of operations and all that. But no, it played out for like 25 seconds, and it was the craziest thing ever when it comes to like that kind of thing, the deja vu, unexplainable. And going back to the scientific look at deja vu, I don't see that playing like that's just your memory triggering your I think it's the one of the frontal lobes that's responsible for long-term.
I'm not a doctor.
I'm not either. Long-term memory, and I don't see science explaining what I experienced. I don't see it. So
Yeah, it's fucked up, really. Like we were talking about the feeling that you get having that for 25 seconds or so.
25 seconds. It was
long enough
crazy.
for someone to spill shit ton of water.
Yeah.
Probably fuck up all the electronics. Get yelled at by a supervisor.
Oh yeah, he was yelled at.
I bet he got chewed, man.
It screwed up a lot of equipment. A lot of electronics got messed up that night.
That's a shame.
But going
You
back,
need those in surveillance.
electronics.
You can't have surveillance without electronics.
No.
Otherwise, you're like a private investigator.
Yeah, we were
and
the
you're
eye,
not out there
we
on
were
the
the eye in
floor.
the school. We didn't have the catwalks anymore. However, the building did still have the catwalks, which were fun to walk on.
Oh,
That's where I used to take smoke
above
breaks. Yeah. It had the old school
Oh, shit.
catwalks, and that's where I used to go smoke. And it was fun walking them because it's between.
Did anybody ever look up and see you smoking?
No, they're like mirrors. They're like two-way mirrors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
there's a ceiling and then the catwalk's above that.
Catwalk with little before the camera technology and all of that. That's where I used to go take smoke breaks and take breaks and
That's pretty cool.
hang out there. And
So you could be a real creep and just watch people up there.
oh yeah,
I mean, you were doing that anyway in surveillance.
yeah.
It's just not in person. You were looking through a camera.
I kicked it old school when I took breaks and walked over the actual tables.
The old
and
time
watching them,
surveiller.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool. But that episode of Deja Vu just it blew my mind, and it still blows my mind today. And that's the strongest deja vu that I've actually had thus far. You can do that if you want.
Snort.
Yeah, right into the microphone.
Coke?
It's fine. No.
Oh, just sniffle.
Yeah.
So we talked about a couple months ago before we even really thought about doing the show. Our own theory of deja vu. We talked about one night that time may be playing in a loop, and every time you experience deja vu, it's maybe that event correcting itself, or you getting it right, or it's letting you know that you're on the right track, or since it's just recurring, that's why it seems familiar. Certain things, if they stick out for some reason,
Like a glitch in the Matrix, maybe.
but it's also strange when you have deja vu of something totally insignificant that
Yeah.
never affects you again.
And that's like
Why would you remember that to relive it
yeah,
again?
back in 9th grade, I remember this. It was a short deja vu. I got off the bus with a buddy. We were going to his house, and a kid was playing. It was at the Pinion Apartments. I'll name drop the apartments because that's where exactly it happened.
Prison apartments?
No, Pinion,
Oh, okay.
not prison.
prison.
In prison.
Okay.
Yeah. Sing Sing.
What was the food like?
I didn't. They didn't give me food.
Was it a private prison?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why.
But anyway, we got off the bus, and this kid was playing in the parking lot with a red. It wasn't a basketball. It was like a little dodgeball, like a little bouncy ball.
A handball, if you will.
Yeah, you call it handball.
Not hand size, but the size of a ball you would use for handball.
Handball. If you used one hand. You could use two hands.
Or if you're going to play like four corners.
Yeah.
You ever play four corners?
No.
What about...
I'm just playing along with you. I'm going to assume that I know what it is.
So it was ninth grade.
Ninth grade. Oh. We get off the bus. I look over to the left, and this kid was bouncing this ball.
So he's red balling.
He's red balling. And I look over, and I was like, wow. It was like a 5-second deja vu because I knew exactly the ball missed, and it bounced, and he went chasing the ball, and I was like, wow.
So you don't know the kid?
No. This was some random kid. We got off the bus.
Later.
No. It's just something that sticks out.
Mm-hmm. So it's weird to, like, how can you look into a deeper meaning into that? What was that?
That memory still sticks in my head,
like,
of deja vu.
For whatever reason, you needed to see the kid bouncing that ball.
And that goes back to the theory of...
That's nothing.
It's nothing.
But you still have the feeling.
You still have the feeling, still have the memory.
I've seen this before.
Yeah.
This happened to me before.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Son of a gun.
Yeah. But anyway, I think one of the theories that I believe, or could be possible, I don't know if I believe it, but it definitely could be possible, is, and it ties in with the reincarnation, how I feel that I believe in reincarnation, and I think that we've already played out this
coming
life.
back again on the same plane.
It's coming back, and 747 Boeing.
Go ahead.
Episode 1. Well, like, we're living out the same life. I don't know if that's the truth.
We sure fucking are, because we've rehashed some jokes in this episode.
But the listeners don't get to experience that. They were funny, though. My abs hurt. I do have abs. Why are you laughing like I don't have abs? I have abs, man. And feelings. But anyway, going back to it. I don't have feelings, no.
Or abs. Yeah. No, go ahead.
But I think that's a possibility where reincarnation, we were living the same life, and it's pretty much telling us that we're on the right track. Maybe you've experienced that, you're on the right track. That's where you're supposed to be. The last episode that I had was, like I said, a couple episodes back, where I was sitting in the Jeep, looking at a picture of setting up the equipment. It was a Jeep.
Does not.
To your brother, it was a Jeep.
If you're listening,
it's a Jeep.
Does not have a Jeep.
Jeep Liberty.
Go ahead.
It handles like a champ, by the way.
Stop it.
You brought it up. I just said,
you were sitting in your Toyota Corolla.
Sitting in my
You were sitting in your Adam Corolla.
My Prius.
You had
I was drinking a Zima. And I looked
your white Zen.
It was me, Mike, and the Dirty Boys. It was a... Okay. It was a poodle, an old jar of mayonnaise. But anyway, that was the last... Jeez. That was the last episode of Deja Vu that I had, where I was looking at the picture of setting up for the first podcast.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
You mentioned that, huh?
Yeah. Thanks for...
But it wasn't a Jeep.
I'm not your new best friend, Luis. I'm sorry.
Shout out to Luis.
But it's crazy. I think...
You better fucking listen to this, too.
Yeah, Luis, I want to meet you because I'm feeling kind of sad now. He's been talking about you all night. And I'm starting to wonder, Brendan.
I don't love you anymore.
That's what I'm feeling like, you know.
So there's... I was thinking about this earlier when I was doing some research for the Mandela effect and the rest of this episode. And I came up with another theory. Again, I have no basis or foundation for this. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Colonel Sanders.
But perhaps deja vu is the splitting or the collision of separate time streams. And that's why you have the feeling of, living something twice almost, or remembering something as it happens, because it's a common event in two different time streams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And that could be the cause for the Mandela effect, because the two time streams have that same moment. They share that, but they have different pasts. So in one, maybe Nelson Mandela did die in prison in the 80s. In the other one, he died in 2013. But you're still having that same moment. And some of that residue reaches over from one to the other. So some people remember it happening one way, some people remember it happening another, but you still have that feeling of living the same moment that you remember.
That's interesting.
I thank you.
It's interesting. Deja vu is one of those things where science can't prove it. No one can prove it.
I mean, there's of course theories, and I'm sure people believe that they've got it figured out.
Do you have deja vu quite often?
But it's weird. It's not uncommon.
Yeah.
But none of it seems. It's like you were saying with the kid with the red ball. It doesn't. It's not like huge, significant things, and I'm like, this is major, and it doesn't last for that long. It's a few seconds.
Yeah. For some reason, let's bring back the Jeep. My Jeep.
He does not own a Jeep.
I do not own a Jeep. But anyway, if I owned a Jeep, I would have a lot of deja vu inside of the Jeep.
It would be a Wangler.
A Wangler, nice. Jeep.
I gotcha.
But the one before the last
occurrence.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Verb.
Adverb. Sitting in the Walgreens parking lot talking with a couple of people, and I was like, wow.
Drug dealers.
No, Kaylin Sterling. I didn't want to call anybody. I didn't want to drop any names, but I was talking to...
You didn't have to.
Well,
you could have said not drug dealers.
Well, they weren't drug dealers. I hope my little Sterling is not a drug dealer.
Sterling, if you're listening, we know you don't deal drugs.
We know that for a fact. But I was talking with him, and I cut off Kaylin. I was like, holy moly, I just had strong deja vu, and that's the coolest thing, because deja vu occurs without no physical manifestations. It just pretty much like, holy moly, I just had deja vu.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Do you find sometimes that it's stronger than other times?
Oh yeah.
That, like, you can have minor and major deja vu?
Yeah. I've had a couple at work, and they're like, I just had a little deja vu.
Yeah, something small.
And
not
the strong ones were like, I just watched it play out.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crarisy.
The 25-second one's
The
probably
25.
pretty major.
That's the big one. That's
people
that's
ruining the
my number
VCRs.
one. Yeah, dumping water.
That son of a gun.
Crisco. But it's hard to explain deja vu. Well, we can't really go into it. There's no scientific proof. I mean, I know scientists like to say, well, it's due to this, then it could be misfiring of your temporal lobe,
the theory we were talking about that I brought up earlier, that we had talked about, that time is a loop, and you're experiencing the same thing over and over. There's a German philosopher named Friedrich Nietzsche. I believe I pronounced that correct.
I have one from Switzerland.
He theorized that the universe and all existence is recurring. So deja vu could be you living that, the same being in the same vessel, if you will. And I know you will.
You will.
Living that same event again, and for whatever reason, that particular event sticks out. Because maybe this, recurring loop has happened billions of times already, but for whatever reason, the kid with the red dodgeball stuck out to you a little bit in one of them, and that's why it seems familiar now. Yeah. And maybe the next time this recurs, you'll have more deja vu.
I don't know if I want to relive the same life, though.
I don't think it's up to you.
I'm just saying, I don't think I want to. I know if that's the case, too late.
Yeah, this is take 1,000 of this life
now
and podcast.
Now, given what we know in this life, if we have the choice to know what if,
right?
That goes to reincarnation. I mean, reincarnation and.
But can we change anything?
Oh, we can change.
Are you able to change? Maybe that's what deja vu is. It's a change. It didn't happen that way before. What do you think of that?
Interesting. That's a good. Okay.
Somewhere on that loop,
yeah,
it happened a different way.
I got you. And you're just seeing it for the first time,
or it's happening different because of some minor butterfly effect type change, if you will.
Colonel Sanders. Goats. But
maybe there was a different goat.
Goats.
And now, maybe it's a goat.
Maybe the goat is the key to what one is.
I think we've cracked it. I think the meaning of life.
Let's break down those four little letters. Goat.
G.
G for go.
goat.
For goat.
O for oh my, that's a goat. A for a goat. T, that's a goat.
That's a goat. I think we just cracked it.
I think so.
I think we're at Black
So the meaning of life.
helicopters.
This is only episode 4.
Yeah.
We've already
We cracked
unraveled
life.
the mysteries of the
You're
universe.
welcome, listeners. We're setting up a PayPal account.
Get a goat, find some goats, farm the goats,
We can
keep
watch
the
your-
goats, protect the goats. Get Patrick Swayze on the line
We can watch your dogs.
because I got something to tell him.
While you catch the comment. If you if you want us to watch your pets, we're setting up a PayPal account. Oh, that's good. Yeah. But there's not much we could talk about on Deja. It's interesting stuff, and it's a lot harder putting it on a podcast. I'll be honest with the listeners. When we're just talking, just BSing, we can talk about, but we usually like get sidetracked like we always
yeah.
do. Yeah, like take 53 of
How about
this.
this, listeners? If you haven't already, please like the Facebook page and share any deja vu that you think is interesting or significant, something you want to tell us about.
Yeah, that'd be
Any
cool.
deja vu
Stories.
that you've had.
We love stories. And,
Let's see if we can get a little bit of response on this one, hey?
yeah, if you've seen a little dodgeball, I don't know,
Perhaps a goat.
a goat playing dodgeball.
If you've seen that and you felt deja vu,
It would be hard for the goat to grip the
we need
dodgeball.
you to chime in.
Yeah, chime in on that because if you have video of that, even better. A goat playing dodgeball. But,
The dodge goat.
A dodge goat. I think we should wrap it up now because unless you want to go straight into goats, I mean, we could.
I think we got to save the goat episode.
We have to save the goat.
Yeah.
SaveTheGoat.com.
At least as a cold open for
Yeah.
another episode.
Yeah. Goot.
But
But
if-
deja vu. That's
Again, if you haven't already, like the Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Indigo Unknown.
Indigo unknown. If you have not experienced deja vu, we want to hear that because
Yeah,
they say
don't
they
tell
say
us.
only like 70%. Don't. We've heard about.
I ain't trying to hear that.
I'm not trying to. Not today. But actually, they say that only 70% of people actually have experienced deja vu.
Really?
30% have not.
That's weird.
Yeah. And then
I
like
wonder
you
if those
and
are
I
the 30%
experienced
like
it.
I was talking about earlier that just kind of passed it off. That they experience it and just kind of go,
Yeah.
that was nothing. You know, they're not as perceptive to it. They probably have experienced
They're
it,
not digging deep.
but they don't
yeah, they're not
understand
diving
the
deep
feeling.
into
They
it.
don't know that that's deja vu.
Yeah. Maybe.
So if you're part of the deja vu elite, share your stories with us.
Absolutely.
And signing off
And so let's
for
cut it right
episode
now.
4,
Yeah. And stay tuned for episode 5
coming very soon
very soon.
to make up for that gap in episodes.
Yeah.